Hello there and welcome to my boat build. My name is Panu and I am building this 15-meter or 50-foot liveaboard cruising sailboat here in Finland. And winter is starting to come. There has been few cold days already, but this past week and next week should be still over zero, so we can still do some epoxy work without heating this place. The previous video was a little bit different. I hope you like it. I just released it today, so I'm not really sure how it went. But anyway, that was all about fiberglassing these sides. And now basically almost all of them has been done except for one back there that I'm gonna do right now. And then there is still a few gaps waiting for those cleat mount things I have been talking about for a long time. They should arrive next week. The metal fabricator, he has had just so much to do. It's all right, there has been plenty of things to do, but now it would be nice to start mounting them in. We'll get back into those hopefully in this video. And then the third thing we're gonna do probably is gonna glue in these ballast keel timbers for good. But I wanted to do one more of these gaps and shooting it with a video because I want to test something. And that is to use some peel ply. I got this roll of nylon peel ply. Thanks Johan from Run Sailing to suggesting me to get this stuff instead of something else. It's very lightweight cloth, really kind of slippery, I think. I have never used this before and I really haven't really touched this before, so this is my first time. So I'm now gonna cut some pieces out of that and I'm gonna apply this on top of the fiberglass I'm gonna do today. And I'm gonna apply it here. This is the last surface I want to fiberglass, and these rest are waiting for those cleat mount things. There's a cleat placement right in here. Yeah, but I'm gonna put fiberglass here and put a peel ply on top of that. And the reason is, of course, I want to test it. I want to kind of get a feel how the peel ply feels, because this is never gonna be coated with anything else. It's all right if I mess it up. But the actual reason for the peel ply is this area right here. So this is the front locker of the boat. Here is the first bulkhead of the boat. It's already in. There's deck beams in here. Everything is sanded and ready to accept the fiberglass. So I'm gonna coat all this area with fiberglass and then we're gonna paint this. And the reason I'm gonna use the peel ply is for the paint. So when I take the peel ply off, the surface should be ready for accepting the paint without any sanding or other kind of procedure in between. So that's why I bought the peel ply and that's why I'm gonna test it before I start to do this actual area in here. So yeah, still a lot to do before we can start the planking, which is kind of crazy. I was thinking that the planking should be ready before winter and the boat should be planked. Yeah, that went out of the window, but I'm hoping we can get started with the planking within a month. We'll see, we'll see. It really depends on the time I can spend with this thing, but now I start to making the final fiberglass thing and put some just time lapse. It's really nothing special, it's just same procedure as previous video showed you pretty well, I think. All right, this is now done. I think the time lapse ended a little bit short, but now this is done and there is now one sheet of that peel ply in here. And I think it turned out pretty good. There's a little bit of an air bubble there, but nothing major. I didn't have any more epoxy, so I didn't went through there with the peel ply anymore. It kind of consumes a little bit of epoxy, so that's good for now. But that is now the last piece of these before we do the rest of them, which have those cleat mounts. And that means that we can actually now start to put in the temporary frames, which are actually right here. I have already cut all of them. And here is some bigger gaps in few of these frame gaps. And there's 5 of these temporary frames. There's 2 in here and 3 there in the front. And one of them is on the gap that there will be this cleat mount. So that is the last one we're going to put in. But we can start putting them now in these gaps that are now done. These temporary frames, they are plywood. This is one part of that. They have these puzzle joints in there. This is the lower end. I'm not sure which part is this, but it comes in here, something like that. And then have another surface here to put the planking against, of course. But I think we need to have some kind of structure here to hold them together so they don't kind of squeeze out from there, because yeah, wood is kind of flexible and it tends to move a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I think next week we're gonna start putting these in. Anyway, now it's late and I'm going home and we're gonna continue in a couple of days. So I got this first temporary frame lifted on its place. I needed to trim there a little bit to make it fit, because this is obviously a little bit thicker than in my 3D model. And also there's a little bit of a measurement mistake I made probably a long time ago. The slots that are in this mold are actually 20 millimeters wider than the center mold actually is. So yeah, there's a little bit of a thing going there, but I don't think it affects a lot in this case. But on the next ones, I think I'm gonna trim it a little bit so that the slots kind of fit together better. I still need to kind of make sure it's straight and it's not kind of crooked. It's a little bit, this is plywood obviously, so it tends to kind of go a little bit bendy. I need to make sure this is in right spot, of course. Make sure it aligns there in the bottom on both sides. Kind of move it a little bit side by side like this. Maybe trim down there and then check the waterline mark I have here, so it matches the waterline I have here, so it's in the right height, of course. One thing I realized when I started to put these together, I should have done some kind of marking holes here in the middle so that I could have some kind of measurement stick going through here, because this is obviously a wood. I can bend it in this way so that the shape of the frame is right, so it doesn't bend wider or narrower than it should be. So there should be some kind of a cross member here. But I have the measurements from this edge, that edge, and I can check it from there. So I think it's all good. But yeah, it went down and it looks very good there on the top. And now I just need to kind of fiddle it a little bit to make sure it's straight and square. So yeah, let's now start gluing these in for good. As you may remember, here we have the ballast keel timber first 2 layers, they are already glued in. And there is 2 additional layers. They're just kind of dry fitted here, and then there is 2 additional layers here that come out from the hull actually. So the hull will be kind of intersect somewhere around here, and this will be extended out from the hull. But I want to glue these in next to make these all now finished. And we have already the keel bolt holes in here in all of these layers, and they are lining up perfectly because they are all made with CNC, of course. But in order for us to glue these in right position, we need to align them with each other. And for that I had an idea. And I went and bought this pipe. This is for electrical conduit use for buildings. It's just basically plastic pipe. I'm not sure what material this is. PVC maybe or something. But this is 25 millimeters in diameter, and it's exactly the same that the keel bolt will be. So I'm going to use this, cut pieces from here and insert them into these holes like so, and with that we can align the holes perfectly. I'll put this in each of the holes. It also prevents the squeeze out coming from the glue up into those holes, so that's good. And if these stuck in there, if they're glued in, I can just drill them out later. And then there's another thing, is how I'm gonna clamp them in. And for that I kind of decided I'm gonna use those holes as well. Got some bolts and washers. I'm gonna try these, if this would work, to actually clamp them in. So here we have 2 bolts with a kind of extension knot in between. Like that. And I can roll them in from either of the sides, and then some washers there. I'm not sure how long this should be, so I grabbed a few different lengths, and I'm gonna now test these, and we'll see what length I'm gonna buy, and I need 20 something of these. But let's now try these first. All right, so now there's a bolt through, and I think it was a 2 times 100 millimeter bolt, but it's just slightly too long, so it doesn't squeeze them all the way in. So I need to add maybe a couple of additional washers there. Let's see. Okay, now it works. Now there's enough clamping power in there. All the seams go together nicely. All right, now I know. 2 times 100 millimeters bolts and a few extra washers. That does the trick. Now I need to get those bolts and cut these pipes on their lengths. All right, this side is now dry fitted and it fits super well as it should be. Of course, I just wanted to put all those things in before I make any glue up. So the next thing I need to do for these is to take them all out. I need to kind of, well, I have sanded them already, so I don't really need to sand them anymore, but I need to wipe them down with alcohol. So all the kind of the acids and grease or whatever oak has needs to get out before we start the glue up. And yeah, that looks very good and they fit super well. And they are super precise. That's why they are a little bit hard to put in if the holes are just slightly misaligned. But when you get them, they go in well. It has been super busy last 2 weeks or so. I counted that I have like 12 active architectural design projects right now, which one of them has a major deadline by the end of the year. So that's gonna take some time for me next week or so, and next week is Christmas as well. So yeah, I've been kind of doing something here every now and then. And here you can see that the whole thing over the top there is now cleaned up. I have vacuumed it, I have wiped it with alcohol, and also I wiped up these things here. So I took all of these down from this side, and now these have been wiped as well. So they are all ready to go. I still need to do a rounding in there because I want to have a proper fillet on these edges right over there. Let's see that a little bit closer. So this edge right here is the kind of the connection between this and the frame. And I want to have a big fillet over there. So that's why I'm gonna round the edge of the piece that goes around here so that whole this thing will be filleted with epoxy, thickened epoxy. So all these gaps will be filled with that. Anyway, I was kind of going to do the glue up today, but it's already 6 o'clock and yeah, I just don't have energy to do this, which is a little bit of a bummer because it's now still a warm day. It's 5 degrees in here and epoxy is still usable in these temperatures, at least the brand I've been using, but I just don't have energy right now. We'll see if I can do this on weekend, and there's still the other side to do as well, so yeah, we'll see. But what I also did was that I put here another of these molds. So this one is on its position already, and it's wobbling because it's not touching down here. And as you remember, this surface right here is a little bit off from its original plan because it didn't go down there where it should have gone. So that's why I cut here a little bit of a relief, and that still needs to do the same. So this thing is not going down any further before I do the same thing over here. But other than that, it fits super well. I measured the distance from this edge to that edge, and they're both within a millimeter or so. So I'm pretty happy with that. We still have a few of them to go. This one right here, it still waits the fiberglassing in here, and the cleat mount is still missing. I just got information that tomorrow the machine shop should be ready with them, and then the welder can weld them. There has been a lot of stuff going on in there as well, so I think that's a good sign for the economy. It's all right, I don't have any time to put them in this week anyway, so they will come when they come. But here in the stern, we can continue putting the additional frames here because these have already been laminated on both sides. And on the other side, I almost forgot I put that peel ply over there. So let's go and take that out right now. So as I probably mentioned, I have never used peel ply before. So we'll see how this works. I just put one piece in here just to test how it feels and how it works. So here we go. Okay, that was easier than I expected. And the surface is super nice. You probably can't describe it through the video how it feels. It's like very matte, and with nails, if you do this, you can kind of hear the sound and kind of imagine how it looks and feels. Yeah, this looks very nice. There's a little bit of an air bubbles there. It's a little bit harder to see air bubbles through this when you put this on, and that's a little bit of an issue maybe. Small bubbles there, but I think it's all right. Yeah, but now I kind of know how this works and how it feels. Although it's not really ecologically nice because this is now just trash. You can't use this anymore with anything else. But you can maybe see the difference between the peel plied and the non-peel plied surface here. All right, I got this one more temporary frame fitted in here, and yeah, it fits well. It was a little bit tight in there in the middle, but a little bit of a trimming with multi-tool did the job there. I still need to trim down here a little bit to make it fit perfectly. One more to go in here, and the last one is there in the middle, but we have to wait those cleat mount things to go in first. But that's gonna be next year, I suppose. But I'm gonna end this video by gluing in the first side of the ballast keel timbers for good. They're all ready to go there as I showed you, and yeah, it will take several hours. I just want to get over with that. And yeah, nothing really special about the glue up. Just spread the glue in there, put all the small pieces in first and then the top pieces and then clamp them down. It's now a little bit below 6 degrees Celsius in here, which is kind of perfect because I only have the fast hardener, so I have plenty of working time and it still should cure pretty well in a few days. So yeah, let's get into that and I'll put some time lapse here. Unfortunately though, I lost my brand new action camera a few weeks back somewhere. I don't know, maybe it dropped out from the car or something, but yeah, I don't have that anymore. Unfortunately, that was way better time-lapse camera than this one. And that said, thank you so much for watching, of course. Remember to subscribe, put comment down below, and if you want to support my project, getting a new camera or so, please go and check out the Patreon page as well. And also thank you for Matt from Duracell Project. You mentioned me on your last video. That is just amazing to have this community around the world with the projects like these. And of course, Merry Christmas everyone, or what you might call the holidays, wherever you are. Bye bye.